Okay, now we are back. We just had a sound issue after we had a restart of our equipment. It sounds like the sound is now back online. Can you just confirm that you can hear us? Okay, I just want to repeat what I've said there so you can just hear me correctly. Please make sure you know how to get to your notes. You can access your notes directly from the booking by clicking on that little white page. You can go to your debtors and access the notes from there by clicking on that white page. And if you're on any person's account details, you have your actual notebook there as well that you can access. How do I start a note? So once I'm on any of those options, when I click on that note, in the right hand side there's an admin event, and here you will select your note. Once you click on your note, you can make a note. Patient will pay next week Friday. So any communication you will make on that note, and as you click on it, you can view it also at any stage. So anytime you communicate with your patient, when they will pay, how they're going to pay, when you need to follow up, you will make that note. Every time you talk with the medical aids, there's a reference number. That reference number should be on your notebook. If for something, anything happens to you or you're not available that day and anyone looks at that account, they can see your notes and know exactly why an account has not been settled yet. Either from the medical aid, you're busy with motivations or resubmissions, or from the patient side, you're busy on talking about handing this patient over for debt collecting. So please make sure that your notebook is accessible, you know where to access it, and once you went into that notebook, go to the right hand side, add a new admin event like you do with the clinical part. You select your note and you will type in your text and save it. And as you add notes, this will extend to every day, and you can later on filter your notes if you need to and search for specific dates or certain notes in the system. So please make sure part of the debt collection process that you make your notes. And also, like I said before, this is now to finalize the process. I want to get my account to zero. If the medical aid did not pay and there's a partial payment, that amount should be on the patient outstanding side. If the medical aid received your claim and paid nothing, we also will shift that amount in the ERA automatically to the patient side. So when you do the claim and it's rejected, it will shift to patient outstanding. When you send the claim to the medical aid and it's not a real-time medical aid and they do not pay it immediately and show you with a rejection or a process claim, what they're going to do, you will see only that payment and rejections in the ERA. So it's very important that you capture your ERAs as quickly as possible every day, so that the amounts can quickly shift to the outstanding patient side, so you can follow up on it as quickly as possible. So from now, you make your notes at any stage. As you stand under patient, you can send out an SMS, and here we can load SMS reminders and free text and final demands and payment reminders and patient outstanding amounts. You can set up a template, and as you click on it, it will fill in automatically the details for you. So also in this way, you can quickly set up a bank details SMS, and that we can send quickly to the patient if they require your banking details. The same with the email. The moment I go to the email, I can also select templates, and the moment I select my template, I fill in where the email must go to, what my subject must be, and what must be my body, so the text detail of that email. And when you click on send, it will go through to that patient. At any stage, you can see what SMSs and emails you've sent by going into admin, and you go to admin event history there at the back, and here you can see anytime you've done a note, anytime you've sent an SMS, and anytime you've sent a email to a patient, and see all the details of that information. Okay, so there you can view all your SMSs and emails. Please look at that and you send it out as quickly as possible, and then you will have your template SMSs. So how do I set up a template SMS or an email SMS? To do that, you go to your gear here at the top right corner. You will click on that, that's your settings, and then you will go to I just want to get the right one here. workflow event. So you go to entity settings. Under your entity settings, you go to workflow event templates. And here you will see choose a template, and you will select SMS or email. And then once you selected it, you can now load it, and then you will give it a name, free text for instance, and you will load your placeholders. And this is to specify what we should automatically import into your SMS or email. So how do I access this? I go to my settings, there in the top right corner, you click on that gear, you go to entity settings, you go to your workflow event templates, and you will select SMS. And you'll say add template, and you will give it a name, SMS bank details for instance. And then here in your text you can fill in the actual bank details, or you can select the debtor's name, surname, what information you want to automatically pull in from the system into that SMS. And then you will click on save, and that SMS is now ready to be sent the moment you select it out of the template and any of our SMS functions. If you want to send SMSs in bulk, there's also options to do that. So you would go to also admin. From admin you will have your CRM, that's our client relations manager. So if you click on the CRM, then you will have here bulk emails or SMSs. Here you can select now debtor or patient, send for me an age analysis SMS for 60 days for a specific amount. And then when you click on filter, the system will show you all the files that's currently following this filter process, and then you just can send bulk email or send bulk SMS, and you can load your template, and this SMSs will go out to all those patients that's currently on this filter. Same for the emails, and also you will see here that we also have a function that says booking reminder SMSs. So this is where I can send out reminder appointments for my doctor for all his appointments for tomorrow, if you have a client that will be using that, or if you want to use it in that sense. So I can now send emails and SMSs per line in the sense of per booking, or you can obviously go also into the debtors, and in the debtors you can pick up also from here you will have your SMS and email as well. So from here you can send an SMS directly from the data screen, or you can send an email directly from the data screen for a template that you select, or from the diary for the people that was there for the day. You can also send it immediately by clicking on that booking, click on SMS and click on email. So also from there you will be able to send it one at a time. If you want to send it in bulk, you go to admin, click on your CRM and select your SMS options here, either debtor or patient, specific ages and specific genders, filter the debtors and select send bulk SMS or email, and then you can send it out to your patients from there. Ja, maar kan niet harder praten. Kan ons niet staan, hè? Want hoe kom is het nou een probleem? Okay, so sending bulk SMSs, please make sure that you get into your CRM. From the CRM, you can send bulk SMSs or emails to your patients. Otherwise, send your SMSs one by one according to the diary or according to your debtors. Also, if you go into your account details, you can also send your SMS and email from there as well. At any stage, obviously, from your accounts, you can also do statements. So by clicking on this, you can send a statement at a time to your patients. You can email it or print it from your accounts, from the diary, and also from your debtors here at the top. There's going to be selected and go into the account, and then select your email statement options to send your emails from there. So now you can send SMSs, you can send emails. Remember to set up your templates to assist you on quickly sending up your SMSs or emails. Just make sure on the Learning Center you can access that. Also for make sure your FCL can help you if you're not sure how to set up those templates, so that you can quick and easy send out SMS templates. Remember, you can send bulk SMS and emails. Go to admin CRM and send it out from there. Remember, the admin event history is where you can see all your SMSs that went out and all your emails. And remember why the admin event history as well. If you send out an SMS for a patient that he must pay and he replies on that SMS, that reply will be captured under the admin event history. So here you will see any replies, like the patient will tell you they will pay tomorrow at 12 o'clock. If there's a reply on that SMS that you send out, that becomes an acknowledge of debt. According to the Credit Act, they are now liable. They can and should pay that amount. And if I do not comply to that, you can take the process further. The moment I reply on their SMSs, that means acknowledge of debt. So please look at your replies. The moment you send out SMSs for outstanding amounts, they will reply on it. Follow it up, otherwise you will miss the arrangements that I've made. If they said they will pay next week, they made a payment agreement. They should then follow it accordingly. Look at your notes. Please make sure your notes are made as much as possible. If I look into any account, or a doctor or any person looks at that account, all notes should be there on why the account is still not being paid up to that point. Is there any questions on your notes and SMSs and emails and statements? Please, if there is, quickly just put it onto the live chat so we can just make sure you are happy with that. Because now I want to move over to the journals so that you can make sure that if a payment has taken place and there's still an outstanding amount, I need to quickly settle that small amount by either writing it off as quickly as possible so the account can get to zero. Okay, so let's use an example for that. I'm going to look here at Jordan as well. So Jordan has got an outstanding amount of 346.20. So now let's say she made an EFT payment into your bank account for 346. So she did not pay that 20 cents. So what am I going to do now? So I'm going to take that money quickly. So I'm going to do a receipt. I'm going to put in electronic, and from there it went. Now we'll say, okay, I don't see any invoices because this is a previous outstanding invoice. So immediately you click on show all invoices. There it is for the 26th of March. The amount was 346.20. How much did they pay? You will put in 346. And the moment you do that and you tab, and the right hand side, the system will adjust the amount to 346. Then you will click on post. The moment you post, it will generate a receipt like we've seen before. And on your account outstanding, now there will be 20 cents there at the right hand side on the account. So that 20 cents is now still outstanding. The question is, do I want to send an email or an SMS for my patient to pay that? No, that's most probably going to cost more. I want just to simply write it off as bad debt. I'm not going to bother the patient for that 20 cents. How do I write that off? I go into the account like we do with the credit notes and the redos. I go into the account. I go to where my 20 cents is outstanding currently at the patient. You click on that invoice. Remember the credit note, just next to the credit note I have the journal option. So now I just click on journal and I select what type of journal am I doing. This is a settlement discount, small credit balance, small balance, write off, bad debt, hand it over. So here I will select small balance, write off. You can make an additional comment or leave it blank. We automatically fill in the 20 cents and we also automatically take the 20 cents to that code and to that patient site on the right hand side. You just confirm you're happy with that. The moment you are, you can just simply click on post. So the moment I click on post, that patient amount now will be zero, and you will see here now very nicely as we show you here on the invoice was generated for 346.20. The turnover was 346.20. Only a credit note will make that 0, that turnover. The cash flow will be 346, so you paid 346, and we've written it off now with 20 cents journals. So now at the top there, I can see my invoices. When I click on the receipt tab, I will see all the payments that was made. And now I can also click on a journals tab, and I can see the actual journal for 20 cents, small balance right off. So now my account is 0. Please make sure that if there's any small outstanding amounts, I can do this journal on any specific account. If it's for today, you just look at your booking, select the patient, do the journal. If it's not booked for today, go to your debtors, search for the file, and then you will just simply go into account details, and then again click on the invoice and click on your journal. Make sure your journal is done only for bad debt, discounts, write-offs, or handed overs. You will not use a journal to correct any billing. You will not use a journal to correct any receipts. If the receipt was posted wrong, go to your receipts, reverse it. If the invoice was posted wrong, go to the invoice, edit your invoice, reverse it, and redo it. Otherwise, credit note it and start over in that sense. Okay, so the journals also, if you do use a handover journal and for some reason the patient now gets a fright because of his handed over email or letter from your attorney or a debt collector, they will run and pay it into your account. You will just do a journal again, but you will use the option that says bad debt recovered, and that is how you will reverse the amount that you have written off because the patient did pay. Remember to do that. If you have made a journal for handing over purposes and suddenly the patient comes and pay now the full account, you must also reverse the journal so you can take the money. Otherwise the account will be in a credit. Okay, so now that is the journals that we went through. We looked at your SMSs and emails, and we looked at the statements. We looked at also your notes. That's all part of your debt management. Make sure you go through the debt management diary on the Learning Center or on the Learning Center, and make sure you understand all these options. You'll see there very clearly on the Learning Center, we say do not use journals to correct any errors or mistakes that was made on the account. Please, this is a very golden rule from GoodX. Do not use it for that. It's only for bad debt, discount, write-offs, or small amounts. So now from here, we are going over to the reports. But before I actually get there, let's look at quickly the tasks. This is part of my credit control. There is credit control functionality also in the system where we handle the credit control. But if you are interested in that, please contact your FCL so we can explain the functionality for you more in detail on how to use it. For now, your credit control is generating an age analysis, working through that, working through your claims history, making sure everything is up to date, making sure your ERAs are up to date. I cannot start any credit control if my ERAs are not posted and my claims are not sorted. Before I can send out any statement, any SMS or email, you must make sure your claim history is up to date. You must make sure your ERAs are up to date. So from here I can now start to make my notes. I've done my journals, but through this process there's also tasks. The task is there to help you to get reminders for you in place, so to follow up on patient that said today will pay next week or next month or whatever you need to do, and you want to phone them but you don't know how to remind yourself because the note is not going to pop up and remind you if you made a note. Yes, you must make a note to tell that the patient told you to pay next week, but how are you going to remind yourself of making that call and checking that patient? And here at the top with the diary debtors reports we have the tasks. So please make sure you understand how to work with your task. The easy way is just quickly clicking on it and you're going to say new task. And on this task, you're going to say, okay, what is the title of the task? Phone patient Friday. You're going to say when it's due. You're going to mark Friday, what time. Let's make it at least at 4 o'clock, for instance. And what is the priority of this task? Is this a low priority, normal, or to a very urgent? Select that, assign it to yourself, or you can even assign it to someone else so that they can perform this task where it is necessary. Event, here you can just, this is not necessary at this moment, but a good one to do this is note. So when you do generate a task, a good event to add here is a note. So when you get to Friday and you phone the patient, you just click on the note button and immediately make the note, and it's all done in one shot. Load it to which diary it should be, and then you can load it to a specific patient, link it to that patient, or you can just leave it blank and to remind in the text you should do. An easy way is just to load it to a patient, and then the system will know what patient is involved. Phone patient before 4 o'clock. Put in that information, and then you complete your task. So I've put in my title of the task, the date, the time, high priority, assign it to myself as the quant user. In that sense, I put in, it must generate a note for me, and it must be under diary, and I linked it to my patient. And I tell myself what to do, and now I'm going to complete this note. Click on complete, and now will be a red task. And I can close that. So here I will see now it's a red task because we marked it as urgent. So if I go to my diary and it is set up correctly, tomorrow I will see now there is my phone patient before 4 o'clock task, and it will stay on this diary until the day passes. So now I can see it's urgent, it's red, and tomorrow at 4 o'clock I just click on that note and I make my note that speak to the patient, made payment. You will log the task and then just save it, and then you will close that task that it's now done. Under tasks, now it will move that to my closed tasks, so there you could see any tasks that was closed. It's an easy, quick way, like sticky notes. It will not pop up every moment that something's wrong, but because the task is under diary, you can't miss it. So until you close that task, it will remain on that day's diary until you complete it. It's a very nice way as part of the debt management to make sure that you generate your tasks so you can keep up to date and do not forget certain arrangements. For instance, patients that make arrangements and they will pay next week, so you do not forget about it. So please go into the task, create a task, assign it to yourself, put in a date when this task should be taking place, and add it to a note, and then you should be easily be able to manage your outstanding amount and credit control and debt management through this process. So it is a task, go to task and just click on add new task to start the process. If there's any questions under tasks, just quickly ask on the live chat. Of course, from now, I'm going now over to our reports, and I'm going to show you 2 web reports specifically and how to access them. This is very nice for the doctors so that they can quickly see all the treating personnel, technicians or therapists or whoever is part of the practice, to quickly see what they've done during the course of a day or a certain period. Okay, so the reports, physical month-end, there's not a button that you need to press in GoodX to do an actual month-end. So it's not a physical function that you need to run in the end of the day. From the web system, it just basically means you need to generate your reports at the end of the month. If you are more financial orientated on the system, then there is functionalities in our standard GoodX cloud where we can actually show you in a later course how you can have a bit more control over the financial periods set up from 1st of March to end of February, and how to manage that process more in detail. For that, we have a different training session to specifically cover those details. If you are interested in that, please ask the FCL so we can make the necessary arrangements. Currently, in this web system, there is not a physical month-end process. So this means when you get to the end of the month, you just simply go to report and you generate your reports. From your admin side, on the clinical, on the switch history, I think the best way here is to submit it by date, and then you can see any outstanding claims, but you will not be able to sort it per patient to see that. We do have maybe other reports that can assist you with that. We call that an Invoices outstanding under our GoodX standard MEDEPS module, where you can get that advanced report that can show you any other invoices that's outstanding per patient in a certain period or time frame. That is a very handy report to look at, especially in a credit control environment or /debt management, to make sure that you go through that. So to help that process, I would definitely suggest then printing your invoices outstanding and an age analysis. With those two, you can immediately pick up what is still outstanding, and with that you can manage your debt management, your credit control much better with those two specific reports. I will show them at the end of this session quickly. The first two reports I want to show still in the web system is currently here, the third tab, the option here that says reports. So I will go to reports. The first one is the turnover report and the practice overview report. Now the turnover report is ideal for my doctor or my technicians or whoever I'm working with. They love this report because it shows a graph, and it will show them, depending on the dates that was selected here, on how it will be displayed on the graphs. And if you hover over that graph, it will show you the cash flow, what was being billed, and as that. But that just shows a graph. To see the detail, you click on that detail button. The moment you click on it, it will show me a very nice detailed turnover report. It shows me the number of visits from the 2nd of March to the 29th of March. It's 61 visits. How many of those were new patients? What is my procedures and consultations including that? What was my material including that? What's my medicines including that? What was my cash flow? So what was the total amount I received in that same period? What is my turnover excluding that? My VAT amount and my turnover including that. So those three last columns are very important for the auditors and doctors to look at. And because this report was drawn now from the 2nd to the 29th, it will show now every day here. On the first date we had 26 visits, the 21st only 3, then 9 and 1, and I can see per day here what was my new files, what did I bill procedure wise, material wise, what came in cash flow wise, and what was the total turnover for that day. So you can draw this per day, per week, per month. It's a quick, very handy report for my doctors and to see what they have done in a specific time frame. The practice overview form here, or the report, will show me a bit more detail. So once I click on that detail, it will actually show me now per date what was the actual invoices, cash flow, journals, what was outstanding, patient and medical. This report even can be drawn every now and then for the month to see still what is currently outstanding. If you like this report, you want to have a bit more control over it, you can download it into CSV and load it into Excel, and from Excel you can do filters and any other additional information you want to take out of it in that sense. These are the most important reports from the website. There is a few others as well. There's a turnover per code, there's a doctor overview, there's a booking status and a booking type. Like I said at the beginning, now we can give you stats on your booking types and the booking statuses. More than welcome to look at all of them. There are always a detail button, and in that detail button we will give more information on what happened on those patients, dates, or specific information. But the most important one here is the turnover report, and the one that's happening, what has been done for the day, is the practice overview report. Those are the two base ones, but these work very nice for our doctors and practitioners to see what they have done in a specific time frame. there's any questions about these reports, just let us know as well. Again, you will also see this on a learning center, or otherwise just ask your FCL if you don't see your reports being activated. They should activate it the moment they can. So now I'm going over to the H analysis and what we call the data transaction drill down, and a third report I'm going to add for this training is the invoices outstanding, to try and help you to manage those claims or billing that was done on patients, and I want to see what is still outstanding on them. So for your credit control process, the first step is make sure all your claims went through to the medical aid. Your second step is make sure all your ERAs are captured up to date. And then in the third and fourth step, I would say generate your invoices outstanding and generate your H analysis. Then I can see what is still outstanding before I start sending out SMSs, emails, and statements. So how do I view that? If you're a web client, you will have a free connection to that cloud, GoodX cloud. It's our more advanced financial system that you will have access to. You will have an RDP connection on your system. You will log into that with a username and password. It will look like this, more or less. You will open up your MedDep, so you will also log in with your username and password. That should be the same as the one you used on the website. You will go to the MedDeps, as we call it, medical debtors, and this is our more financial and stock modules, as we call it. And this is where you can have very advanced functions in GoodX and very advanced reporting. If the web is a very basic reporting structure, if you feel that reporting does not meet or match up to your standard, please make sure that the FCL give you access to this report, because here I can print a full H analysis and the invoices outstanding and the drill down. That's very important for us. Okay, so let's start with the data transactions drill down. This report will show everything that happened in the system in a certain time frame. So you can draw this report per day, per week, per month, or per period. So this is a typical report that you will generate at the end of the month end. So again, like I said, it's not a physical function. You can do a month end. If you want that more control, yes, then we do have month end functions for those advanced sites. If it's not that important, you just do your reports on the website and you just go on to the next month. From here, I go to print, so you make sure you go into your MedDeps from what we call the navigator. Once you go into the MedDeps, you go to print data transactions drill down. There is report loaded here that we say per period month end, so that's a typical report we print in the end of the month. It's already pre-set up, but please make sure you understand how these reports are set up. You must specify the year you're working in, so it just depends on our financial year that is set up, and then from where it must start period 1 till the end of that period. As you can see, the 2019 period ended in February, so 2020 will start then from the 1st of March 2019 and will end in February 2020. Select your consultations, your medicines, all dates, between capture date, between transaction dates, and we always work on our reports on these two dates. Capture date, transaction date. Transaction date is the date of service, the day the patient was consulted, treated, or procedure took place on, or theatre, whatever the scenario is. Capture date is when you loaded it into the system. So for bureaus, that is the important one to pull. For normal practices, the transaction date is the one to pull out of the system, but otherwise you will work on all dates per period. That is, if you work on a full month-end system in a financial sense of way, then you will always pull a period for report for period 2 for April, or period 5 for July, or period 11 for January. That's where the full month-end procedures will come into play. And again, for that we do provide in an additional training sessions if you want that advanced detail. Then you can decide what turnover do you want to see, if the turnover, the cash books only, so that is my cash flow, or only the journals. And then you can also specify, do I want to see this report per treating doctor, per medical aid, per referral doctor, or per service centers if you have multiple locations. Grouping, you will just decide, select grouping. It just depends on what you selected here per medical aid, and you must select the grouping. And you will see here, show all the reports according to transaction level. That is recommended, not as you've opened a file. Do you need to sort it alphabetically or numerically? How you want to see your report? So now you can set up your own detailed report and you can save it. And this is very important because certain people can draw reports on dates, capture date or transaction, and then the totals will be different. You must keep the same process going. If you select period, keep all your reports on period level. If it's for statistical scenarios, yes, you can change it to different dates and times. So at month end, I will come into this MEDEP. So I will go to print, I will go to data transactions drill down, I will select my month end report and I will say print to grid. Why print to grid? It shows a sort of an Excel screen so I can sort, group and filter my report into more detail before I start to print it. Print direct means it will take your saved filters and just simply print it to paper. Okay, so let's do print to grid. Then I must specify the time frame I want to do this, and then I click on next. And then the system will generate, I think it's almost 7-8 reports into one. Just depends on what you need and what you're going to extract in from out of this system. So it's one major report, but it's subdivided into 7 to 11 reports if I remember correctly. I will show it now to you once it's pop up. So the first one is the ledger. This just shows me what has happened invoice wise, credit notes wise in the total of the practice. The second one is my audit trail. That will give me everything that was billed on these patients. Let me just draw this one in a more specific way. I do not want medical aids on this one for now. Yes, and let's run it again. Just want to show you exactly what you need to look for. This is a very advanced report. The first one I get out of this for month end is what we call our movement summary. The movement summary you will send every month to your auditors. That's the report that they required. It shows them the turnover, it shows them the cash flow, and it shows them all the journals you have done in that time frame. So here I can see now my ledger. So the total invoice is 160,000. My total credit notes is 12,000 with all my deposits that took place, receipt, electronically or card. So here is also a deposit screen. So this will show exactly to me. I can say give me only my card receipts, and then it will show only my card payments. I can tell it to give me only my cash payments, and it will show only my cash that I received onto the system. So I can quickly see that cash was 9,000, my EFTs were 300, so my total for this month is 9,000. So that's from the deposit report. From your movement summary, this is the one that must go to the doctors / or owners of the practice, and also the auditors will show you the turnover for that month is 147, your cash flow is 46, that's a bit low, the total journals is 1176.64. And then it should always balance back to the age analysis. So that should always be a right mark. If not, immediately contact your FCL so that is controlled and checked. So from this print daybook report, I will be using my movement summary that must be printed every month. If you want more detail on your deposits, then you will select your deposit report. And if you want to see in detail what has happened on that specific month, you can now just simply filter it into journals or credit notes or invoices, whatever you require. And then the audit trail invoice details will give you per code what you have actually billed. So this is the report where we can filter out certain codes, certain items, certain needles, syringes, web calls per medical aid if needed out of the system. So this is where I can simply just take my medical aid and I drag it up, and I can actually quickly group everything per medical aid. And if I click then on discovery, I can quickly see what has happened on all my discovery patients in this system. There's different ways on how you can do this in the same report. You can, all these reports you can do with doctors or referral doctors. So you can see here's my treating providers. So I can sort this list according to my doctors, and I can sort this list according to my referring doctors. So if you are working with a lot of referral doctors, this is an excellent way to draw the reports per referring doctor, so I can quickly see where and how many patients certain doctors are referring to us, and I can react on that. And in the same way, I can quickly see how much is Dr. Nemo working, and I can quickly generate a report for Dr. Nemo so he can see how much work is he doing on the system, and invoice wise, credit notes wise, journal wise, and payment wise from medical aids and patients. So this is the main report that you can draw in GoodX if you need, especially for our bureaus that needs more detail. The web will just give me the basic turnover report, but these are the advanced reports that I can quickly draw per doctor, per referral doctor, in any practice to help the doctor see what is going on. And the movement summaries will go then to the doctors to see what is happening in their practice. There's my turnover, there's my cash flow, and then there will be my journals. Deposits, there is a separate deposit report, or I can use the detailed report just to filter out the deposits. Any questions on this report, please ask your FCL for further more detail on this. Otherwise, you can arrange for advanced training in the future at GoodX, where we can discuss these reports in more detail if you need more information out of it. So now that's my drill down report, as we call it, our month-end first report that you will do in the end of the month. And then for my credit control, we talked about my invoices outstanding report. This is a very nice report if you're very hard on credit control, for instance, like our bureaus. This report will very much help you. It will show everything per medical aid, per doctor, per referring doctor, per service center. You have a lot of options on how to draw this report. Show me only the invoices that's still outstanding. And when you generate this report, and why we like this not equal to 0, is it shows you a lot of information for credit control purposes. And it first of all will show me the invoices, what has been invoiced, what has been paid so far, what is still outstanding on the medical aid or patient side, what is outstanding on the total of the account, what age is it currently in, and what is the status of the claim. So here you can quickly filter any rejected claims and then filter it according to 30, 60, 90, 120 days. Or you can just simply go in and filter it on your 120 days. And here you can see whether they paid or not and what is still outstanding on those specific invoices. This is really a very handy report for credit control purposes, especially in the bureaus, because here you can quickly see what is still medical aids outstanding on 60 days. And if anything is still outstanding on medical aid outstanding on 60 days and upwards, something is wrong. You're either not getting your claims to the medical aid, or you are not getting your ERAs into the system. So this is very important, along with your age analysis. Anything on medical aid outstanding bigger than 60 days, in certain practices 50 days, something is wrong. So you need to access these reports to follow up. It's no one else's job except for yourself. You need to go through these settings, through these reports, and follow up with the medical aids. If something is still outstanding on medical aid side on 60 days, there must be a reason for it. Why? You must ask yourself, why is that amount still outstanding, and sort it out as quickly as possible. So that is a very handy report. On that report, I can sort it per patient, per doctor, per medical aid, per age, and even per switch rejections in the end of the day. So it's a very, very advanced report, and it works very nice for our bureaus or big practices that want more control over the credit control process and the debt management. And then I'm going to end off with our age analysis. So the age analysis can also, like the other reports, set up in quite a few different options, like total outstanding, medical aid outstanding, patient outstanding, or summaries. It just, again, it gets to the point where you need to understand, how do I edit these reports, and how you create these reports on your own if you need it. Otherwise, please make sure on a learning center we've got very detailed manuals on this, or otherwise talk to your FCL so that it can assist you more on helping you setting this up. Again, the year is very important. We are already in the 2020 book year, so make sure your reports are set up for 2020. select your consultant medicines, make sure the report is going to be pulled to what specific period, and then select how we want to group your age analysis. And medical aid is a very nice option to start with all your age analysis. Because here I can see per medical aid what is outstanding. And then you can say, do you want to see only the total outstanding amount, the medical aid outstanding amount, and the patient outstanding amount. And what's so nice about our age analysis is also I want to see the last payment date. So now I can print a report for greater than 50 Rand, show me the patient and medical aid outstanding amounts, and I can even set this age analysis to print only for 90 days and upwards. So now I'm going to generate this report. Once you set up all your ticks, you can save it and give it a specific name, and then you can run the report. So I'm going to say give me everything that is now 50 to 90 days outstanding. Total must be greater than, well, let's say not equal to 0, and the total of the account must not be not equal to 0. Why not equal to 0? As with your movement summary in the end of the month, your age analysis should always be printed also at the end of the month as not equal to 0. Because you want to see your outstanding amounts plus your credits. Any person or medical aid that paid more will go into credit, and you need to be aware of your credits. You don't have credit control or debt management in place if you're not looking at your outstanding credits. Because a credit means the doctor or your practice owes a patient money. Again, the question is why? That you should not have any outstanding amounts for patients in the sense of a credit, because it means you need to refund that patient. And make sure that your credits are correct. So when I generate this age analysis, now I can see it per medical aid. So I can exactly see now from here that BestMed owes me 4,000 Rand, or not BestMed necessarily, but patients on BestMed owes me 4,000 Rand, and 88,000 is still outstanding at Discovery patients. My private patients is only outstanding 12,500 Rand. So please make sure you understand how to set up your age analysis. Again, it's very detailed in our learning center, but otherwise contact your FCL for any links to this. At any stage, you can print your age analysis or any report out of the GoodX, and you can export all our reports to Excel as well. From Excel, you can generate whatever you need. What's nice about the MedEps age analysis, you can even now send SMSs for your outstanding patients. Okay, that's it for the report. So first of all, what do I print when I start my month-end process? You print out your day book, your movement summary in other words. You will print out an age analysis not equal to 0, and then you will print out an invoices outstanding also not equal to 0. With those 3 reports, you will know what's going on in your practice, and you can quite easily with the age analysis and invoice outstanding manage your outstanding debt, your credit control in other words, or manage your outstanding debt. If there's any other questions, please ask now on our live chat so I can explain it to you or show it maybe in detail. Otherwise, the Learning Center, you will have nice options to view these kinds of reports. And also, again, when you want more detail, don't hesitate to contact the FCL via email or phone and ask them for assistance where you want to. Okay, then I'm going to end this session. If there's any other questions, please let us know, and then we're just going to take again a 5-minute break. And then we're going to start with just a summary, just quickly on a recap of everything that we've done so far, and then we can quickly do a Q&A if there's any other questions that you still want to get answered. Thank you, and see you later.